Get ready for tonight at 5 p.m. CDT time because we're streaming. Well, I'm streaming, but I hope to see you guys there. Miss Lynn, it is so good to see you again. Nezu smiled, seeing you enter his office. You too, Mr. Nezu. Thank you for allowing me to work here, you smiled. Well, you weren't one of the top 10. You were a pro hero by the alias of Hero's Name. You weren't often the front line when villain attacks, and on the news even less than Aizawa ever was, which was very few. So you decided to use your experience and skills as a hero to teach students inspiring to be heroes. Of course, Miss Lynn, it's so wonderful to have such an amazing hero as yourself work here and help inform these wonderful students on how to be heroes. Nezu said, beginning to walk. You slowly followed him, listening to what he was saying. Since you're joining the faculty middle of semester, we've yet to discuss a specific class for you to teach. For now, we'll be placing you to work with Class 1A's teacher, Shota Aizawa. He said, Shota Aizawa? I've heard that name before. Was he on TV? Or maybe I worked with him? You thought as you approached the room. Enjoy your first day, he suddenly said, walking off. You snapped out of your thoughts, seeing he already left. The door was opened, and there were a few teachers looking at you. You were startled by the sudden realization of people staring at you. You blushed in embarrassment while saying, I'm meant to be working with Shota Aizawa, as far as I was told. You're later than I expected. Come on, I'm supposed to train you today. Someone stood up. You recognized him immediately. A long time ago, you doubted he'd ever remember. You barely did. You worked with him, probably around when you first both debuted. You worked at the same hero agency as him, but soon left as you felt your skill set wasn't what they needed. Sorry, I'll strive to do better from now on, you said. Don't apologize like you're one of my students. Now the introductions will be simple, he said. After your lesson this morning, you were meant to focus on Aizawa and the other teachers as they taught 1A. Students seemed confused seeing you as you walked into the room. No one said anything, though, and seemed to whisper more about Aizawa not being asleep for once. As the bell rang, Aizawa stood up at the podium, gesturing for you to stand up as well. Class, this will be your temporary assistant teacher, Miss Lynn. Next semester, she'll be teaching your own class, but for now, she'll assist your teachers, including myself, during class, Aizawa exclaimed. It's great to meet you all, and I hope to get to know all of you. You smiled. Throughout the day, try and introduce yourself to her. Now get to your locker rooms and change for training, Aizawa said. The class groaned and began going to the locker rooms. You felt a bit bad for the students. Once you saw the training, it seemed very intense. A lot worse than you remembered from high school. Aizawa, don't you think this is a bit much for them? They're only first years, you said. He glared at you. It was scary at first. They're trying to be heroes. If they don't work hard, they won't make it. And if they can't handle it, they can leave. You didn't quite agree with his way of thinking and teaching, but he was right. Being a hero was hard. You both knew this from experience. I guess you're right, you said. Kachan, you heard one of the students scream. A few explosions went off in the arena. Is everyone all right? You asked, making sure no one was hurt, especially the boy who screamed. Once the smoke cleared, the green-haired boy was being held by the wrist by the explosive boy, Bakugo. Lin-sensei, the green-haired boy stuttered. Kachan, let me go, he mumbled quietly to the other boy. You blushed, not being able to handle this type of stuff as a teacher. Great. Keep training. Be careful. Don't do around anything reckless. You walked back towards where Aizawa is, him giving a bit of a sly expression. Kachan, don't do that so sudden, you heard the green-haired boy say. Whatever, Deku. Be careful, the explosive boy said. You assumed the two returned to training, but didn't look back to check. I didn't realize these were students with relationships on the class. I assumed since they're inspiring heroes, they wouldn't focus on things as at this time. I guess times have changed, you said, mostly to yourself. There are many students with relationships in this class. It is different than when we were students, obviously. They also seem to be very open and accepting about sexuality. It did change for the better, Aizawa added. It's great to see, you said. The semester went by fast, and you got to know Aizawa very well. He treated you kindly, presenting a little bit of amusement when talking to you every once in a while. Of course, you got to know all the other teachers as well as Namiri, Yamada, All Might. He insisted you call him Todoshinori, but most importantly, you became pretty close with many of the students of Class 1A. You cared a lot for those kids, and they seemed to really like you. You couldn't wait for them to... They couldn't wait for when you taught your own class. That day, however, you wouldn't be able to track. Principal Nezu understood that since you weren't being paid full time for being there, you still primarily maintaining your hero position. So you were out today for some important hero duties. You've been getting pretty close to Yin lately, Shotoa. Namiri smirked, resting her arm on Aizawa's shoulder. Yes, she's mainly worked with me, so we have a lot of time too, Aizawa said. Just ask her out already, Mike yelled. It seemed to be the only tone he could speak in. We're practically balancing lives as both teachers and pros. We don't practically have time to handle love lives, Aizawa said. How long are you going to say that, Shotoa? You're 30 and have never been on a single date. Don't you want to settle down by now? Kid and marry and have kids? Hazashi said. It's unprofessional, Aizawa countered, not knowing what else to say. He knew his old friend wasn't wrong. He did want to eventually want to start a family, and he definitely couldn't lie that he gained feelings for you recently. Oh, you really do like her, Shotoa. Come on, don't be shy. She definitely feels the same way, Namiri said. Yeah, she said it herself, Hazashi sang. Did you pester her about this too? He asked, a bit annoyed. Maybe last week when you were making copies, but it's all pure intent. We just want to see our two favorite people together, Hazashi clarified. Leave me alone. I'm going to sleep, Aizawa said, having had enough. He reached for his yellow sleeping bag before the two could protest. He hid himself inside. Aizawa fell asleep, hearing mumbled complaints of his co-workers and friends. The semester felt like it had pretty quickly gone by. Aizawa and you would no longer be working together after this. While you would still be in the same building, probably even teaching 1A, it would be different for sure. At the end of the day, Aizawa walked with you to the front gate. He would still be saying to do some grading, but since you didn't have much else to do, you decided to leave. It's going to be great working you this semester, Shota. I guess we'll no longer be as close next semester, but I hope we can still stay close and everything, you said nervously. Yeah, you did great so far. You'll make a wonderful teacher for these students, he said. You smiled brightly. Thanks a lot, Shotoa. I really appreciate it. You still have my number. Maybe we can go hang out sometime. There's the cat cafe around that we could go to. I'd really enjoy that. Maybe we can come up with plans for the weekend. My schedule is mostly free for once, he said. Yeah, I've got time. This Saturday at noon, do you think you can make it? He asked. How about 1? I have some work to get done in the morning, but I can be by there by 1. Send me the directions later, all right? I can't wait, he said. Yeah. He stuttered slightly, his face a little pink. He pressed a quick kiss to his cheeks. See you later, then. Aizawa blushed, standing there for a moment. As he walked away, a hand rested over the spot you kissed. I'm acting such like a child. Stop this, he thought, beginning to walk back to the UA building. Although he couldn't stop the small smile that spread across his face. His smile bit the joy soon creased as he entered the teacher's office, hearing, "Did you finally get a date?"